Have you ever walked past a decaying place and swore you could still hear it breathing? Googs wasn't just a dive bar. It was a beautiful mess with a pulse. A musical dive tucked into a sleepy corner of Glens Falls, New York. It was a living, wheezing, beer-scented beast with a soul made of punk rock and roll chords, bad decisions, and duct tape microphone dreams. They say you don't remember every night, just the ones that change you. And if that's true, then Googs changed me several hundred times, if not more. There was no sign outside. If you knew, you knew. If you didn't, you were probably just looking for a place to get loaded that wasn't on South Street, and the police somehow mostly stayed away from. You'd walk in and it'd hit you. The smell. A mix of PBR and ambition. You'd cough once and think, yup, this is where the music lives. This music? It was loud in a way that rewired your brain. It wasn't always good, but it was always right. Raw, messy, scream until your throat bleeds kind of right. Like the bands were holding on by a thread and the only thing keeping the world together was finishing their set. You just kind of found yourself there, like waking up halfway through a mildly bad dream thinking, wait, is that guy wearing a bear suit playing a banjo on the stage at open mic? And the answer was usually just yes. Rumor has it they once tried to ban Mike's signature drink, the Sweaty Goog, after 3 people hallucinated a Velociraptor DJing during set change at a midnight revival band show. Googs wasn't just a music venue. It was an ecosystem, a slightly moldy, neon-lit ecosystem with broken speakers, cheap drinks, and the occasional feral cat sighting. But it had a soul. Googs had so much soul, in fact, it regularly violated the fire code. You'd step in for one beer and end up staying for all 4 bands and having a heartfelt conversation with someone in a Misfits hoodie about the spiritual meaning of distortion pedals. It was so much more than just a dive bar. It was an institution. Despite its rough, signless exterior, it was a place where dreams were made and broken, where careers were launched and egos were bruised. It was a sanctuary for music lovers, a haven for the misfits and outcasts, and let's be real, a place where we could all go to scream, sweat, and sing along to our favorite underground songs. The stage was a place of beauty, metaphorically speaking, of course. It was where I saw some of my favorite local bands perform, where I met some of my closest friends, and where I experienced some of my most intense, life-changing moments. It was a place where music was more than just entertainment, it was a way of life. The metal support beams were covered top to bottom in band stickers, like tattoos on some sort of old rock and roll tree. Each one its own little time capsule. Half of the bands probably never even actually played there, but their stickers earned them honorary residency. Stickers stacked so thick you could peel back the layers like rock and roll archaeology. That building's walls probably hold more memories than the wood they're made of. Those walls have absorbed every shout, laugh, heartbreak, and spilled drink for decades. You could run your fingers along them and feel the history. 2007 felt gritty. 2012 through 2017 had something to prove. And 2019, well, we don't talk about 2019. Just kidding. This whole story is a testament to the very last year any of us actually felt alive. The last time any of us got to play on this legendary local stage. And the last time any of us got to walk through the door of our beloved Googs. Some people met their best friends leaning against those beams. Some of us found love at Googs. Some of us broke up there. It wasn't a fancy place. It never pretended to be. And the porch, man. We'd pile onto it like it was a lifeboat. Cigarettes, laughter, reunions of old friends, deep talks that weren't deep but felt like scripture at 1 a.m. The rickety railings were leaned on more than a best friend. Googs just had this gravity. It pulled the weirdos, the heartbreakers, the poets, and the guy who only spoke in Simpsons quotes. Googs didn't ask much from you, just that you showed up. That you danced when the band asked for it. That you cheered even if the open mic act sucked. That you tipped your bartender and didn't puke off the side of the front porch, but even if you did, well, someone else probably already had. The bathrooms were sentient. I swear the woman's restroom door hissed at me one time, but the toilets themselves were always somehow clean. The graffiti yelled at you in a way that was almost musical in itself. There was a phone booth tucked between the men and women's restrooms, right next to where the floor always got a little too suspiciously sticky. I swear to God that phone booth hadn't worked since the 1980s, if ever. But that didn't stop people from stepping in and pretending like they were making the most important phone call of their life just to snag a fancy photo op. The side stage and VIP lounge? The green room? It was just a room that held an old couch that someone hauled in there, and probably a lava lamp that may or may not have contained vodka. And the people? Oh man, the people. You never felt alone at Googs because no matter what kind of beautiful, chaotic, slightly socially awkward creature you were, you could find your species there. Now the porch is empty. The The stickers are peeling, and the ghosts of our younger, louder, sloppier selves are screaming lyrics to songs written by bands that no longer exist in the silence. If you stand real quiet at the back door on a cold January night, you can still hear it. The crash of a cymbal, a laugh, someone's puking off the porch, a bass drop that just rattled your bones. I'll keep the memories, the scars, the set lists that were scribbled on napkins and cardboard ripped from a box of skunky trunk beers. I'll keep them all, because Googs may be gone, but damn it, Googs lives within me. It lives in all of us. So cheers to stable gentlemen, to safety meeting, to free air. Cheers to archfiends, to cosmonauts, to paradox saints. Cheers to being Leonard. Cheers to the escape, but most of all, cheers to the sweaty Goog.